Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen. Welcome back to another episode of Sales Funnel Radio. And tonight I should say, it's pretty dark out. I want to tell you guys how I'm using other people's events to launch my next webinar.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business, using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up, my friends? As you can tell, it is nighttime right here. If you guys are on with me on YouTube right now, I am biking. I love to bike. Growing up, before I got my Eagle Scout, my parents said I was not allowed to drive unless I got my Eagle Scout. So I didn't want to get it. So I biked everywhere, and I mean, a lot of miles. It wasn't just like like down the road or whatever. Like, I put on some serious miles in high school on mountain bikes. And so I'm here doing it again. You see my little Apple Watch tracking it right there. I don't know if you guys see that. I'm at 19 and a half miles and about an hour and a half. And it's not that far. For those of you guys who cycle, you're like, oh, that's not that far. I get it. But this is the bike I'm on, okay? It's a mountain bike. Look how fat those tires are. Give me some credit. I'm pushing pretty hard. I burn a lot of calories doing this. So anyway, it was an intense week. It was such an intense week. We were launching, running lots of payments, getting lots of people onboarded to OfferLab, and it's been awesome. That we're going to start working with them on all the inputs that my funnel team needs to build their funnel for them. You heard that correctly. A lot of you guys don't know about OfferLab yet. This is the second year we're running it, and it was quite successful, and we found ways to make it more successful. So anyway, it's an intense week, and I honestly need time to do kind of aggressive physical activities. I'm honestly trying to get in more shape so that I can go jujitsu. I'm really excited to go jujitsu. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, it'll be fun. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I was out biking, and I was just thinking about I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek on an idea that I had yesterday morning. It was about last night. Last night I went and I said, hey, I want to, just random people driving by. Last night I had an idea where I was like, you know what? I'm speaking 5 times. No, 6. 6 times in the next 6 weeks. Literally, I have 6 speeches to plan. Starting, so the time when we film on this right now, I'm going to be speaking at Carnegie Hall, right? It's really cool. Martha Stewart speaking, Dan Kennedy, so long as his health is okay. Michael Gerber, who wrote E-Myth. That book changed my life in college. It's awesome. Hal Elrod from Miracle Morning. It's gonna be really. I'm really excited about it, you guys. It's exciting. And I'm not normally the kind of guy to name drop stuff. And frankly, that kind of drives me a little bit nuts. But it's cool, right? And these are a lot of some of the people that I've learned from throughout the years, as likely you might have also. So I'm pumped about it. Well, so I'm speaking 2 speeches at Carnegie Hall, and then the very next weekend, I'm speaking at 2 different events, literally back to back in different locations. So on Friday, October 4th, I believe it's the 4th. On Friday, October 4th, I'm going to speak at BossCon. And then Saturday, October 5th, I'm speaking at CarrotCon, where Damon John's going to be. And anyways, it's going to be cool. So then I come back home. Then there's Inner Circle. And then I think it's the next week after that. I go on a plane, and I'm going to be speaking at Prove It's event. A lot of you guys know I'm in Prove It. I'm in Russell's downline. I love Prove It. I'm drinking it right now. And anyway, it's a lot of speeches. So I was thinking to myself, what else has 5 things? Oh, my Lanta, webinars do. I was like, wait a second. 5 speeches. That's a lot of speeches to create. Right? I know there's a 6th in there, and for some reason it's escaping my mind right now. It's like 10 p.m. Almost anyway, and been biking a lot. So anyways, I can't remember what the other speech is, but I know there's another one in there. So here's what I was thinking. I'm allowed to sell at CarrotCon. Okay, I'm allowed to sell at CarrotCon. The others I'm not allowed to. So if I just figure out which of the platforms would be best for my origin story, can you guys see where I'm going with this? And then figure out which one would be awesome for secret number 1 and number 2 and number 3, right? And then go into a close, right? That's 5 parts: origin story, secret 1, 2, 3, and then the actual close. What I'm doing is I'm going to be getting the speeches back from all the places that I speak and put them in order, and I literally created a webinar through the speeches at ththese other events. And so what I was thinking to myself is, how sick would that be? So that's like the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to do here. Now that I freaking love the perfect webinar format, right? I use it for everything. It's how I sell my affiliate stuff. It's how I sell my expensive stuff. It's how I sold my $25,000 program. It's how I've sold my $13,000 programs. It's how I've sold my $3,000, my $1,000, my $1 programs. Okay, that format is so beautiful on selling anything. Even if it's free, you still gotta sell something free. I still use it on free stuff to sell free stuff. Okay, so I've been sitting back and like realizing, like, wait a second, I on average spend probably 5, no, it's more than 5. It's a solid at least 8 to maybe 15 hours per speech creating them. Right? And people are like, what, Stephen, why do you spend so much? You don't need to do that. I've had people tell me, Stephen, you could just take a marker, stand up, and teach. Yes, but that's not the point. Even if I'm not selling something for money, I'm still selling ideas. And what's the false belief I gotta break? What are the stories? You understand, this is my craft. I'm not gonna just stand up and just spitball it. That's dumb. I prepare for every speech I give highly. So I'll just tell you. Right, my event, Offermind, as the time of me filming this right now was about 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and we collected about 1.4 to 1.5 million in sales. We're still seeing the final count, so we're not quite sure yet. Okay, but it's about 1.4 to 1.5 million sales. I think we'll get to 1.6 or 7, which is awesome. I mean, that's crazy. I spent 4 days just creating the slides for that 1 hour pitch. 4 days, just the slides, not the research, not the brainstorming, not the thinking through. 4 days, okay? So people are like, you understand, I'm an artist, baby, right? I'm a scientist, but I love the art part of it as well, right? So when people are like, well, Stephen, like, you don't need to, I'm gonna prepare. And so instead of me spending like 10 hours for the next 5 speeches each, what if I just spent the time creating one webinar and I took out the pieces and I told it across different stages? And of course I'm gonna have to adapt it a little bit. I know it's probably not gonna be perfectly, like if I'm telling a story, I can't just walk onto the last stage and just immediately start pitching. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still gonna have to go having a little origin story, stuff like that. But when I chop it out and cut it out, I'm gonna make sure I do it in a way that I can lace together 5 different stages. It's gonna be so sick. I'm so psyched about it. So I'm thinking I don't have that long to speak on Carnegie Hall. I have 2 sessions that are like 25 minutes each. It's not that long. And I get it too. Like, it's just an honor to be there. So, that event's called Living Legends. So I'm excited to be even called Living Legend. Like, that's really, that's honoring. So anyway, 25 minutes is not really enough time for me to teach something like in depth, meaty, juicy, what I'm kind of known for. So I'll still teach something, but I'm selling me. You know what I mean? I'm selling me. I'm not selling an idea. They have no idea who I am. I don't think Martha Stewart even knows that I'm breathing air right now. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's totally cool. So instead, like, what if I go and I actually sell them on me, and then I'll give some cool nuggets on like how to create cool offers and sales funnels and stuff like that. That's the whole idea. So I might as well tell my origin story at Carnegie Hall, right? Then the next event, right? So psyched for Rachel Peterson's BossCon event. Hopefully you guys are going to that. Excited to have and see you guys who are going to that there. And so I'm trying to figure out, that'll probably be, my guess is it'll probably be secret 1 or 3. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say this, secret 1 or story number 1 that you tell after the origin story is all about the product itself, right? It's all about the product. So I'm selling something specific in mind. So that's what I'm getting to in a moment here. Anyway, story number 3 is all about external-based false beliefs that you have to break, right? And I don't want to get too deep into that here in the middle of this podcast. That's not really the format for that here. But the whole point of this is that I'm trying to find more patterns and places to tell this perfect. We don't call it webinars anymore, right? Russell doesn't call it webinars anymore. It's called a presentation. And it's because people are like, well, I'm not going to do a webinar to sell my thing. It's like, okay, you're missing the point. It's the format, right? It's the format. It's the script itself that works very, very well. So we don't call it a webinar anymore. It's called a presentation funnel. It's called, right, just like any presentation you give for any product. So I'm basically breaking up a presentation funnel, the script, on top of tons of other people's events, and I'm going to use that to launch a product that I'm promoting. So, Steven, what product are you going to promote? So when I get to CarrotCon, so I've been talking with ClickFunnels, and I was like, hey, I love the One Funnel Away Challenge. Just so you know, ClickFunnels, I think I'm going to go sell the One Funnel Away Challenge at CarrotCon. And they were like, cool, right? We got some additional things we want you to test with that. And I was like, cool. And so what's happening is I'm going to go sell, oh crap, the street light just went down. Okay, let me go. Let me get out of here. Stick with me for a moment. I'll wander over towards where there's actually light. You see the lights on my on the bike like that? I was biking through the darkness. Literally, I was out in the freaking boonies. I was out in the boonies, and it's totally like Children of the Corn scenario, man. It was so freaky. It was pitch black. It was just my actual like flashlight on my bike, and that was it. I was like trying to study the road and pushing super hard, so things are coming at me fast. Anyways, it was fun. I like it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, hopefully I'm all right to say this, but ClickFunnels is sending a bunch of One Funnel Away boxes to the CarrotCon event for me so that I can sell One Funnel Away at CarrotCon, which is super cool. So understanding that and knowing I'm such a big proponent of One Funnel Away, I help teach a lot of the One Funnel Away Challenge. I'm one of the coaches of the One Funnel Away Challenge. So knowing that, like, it's cool because it puts me in a kind of a neat spot where I can actually create a webinar selling One Funnel Away, but then tell it over 5 different events. That is sick in the modern sense. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be awesome. So that's what's happening right now, and that's what's going on. So I guess the whole point and the purpose of this episode is for you, like, it doesn't need to be an official webinar, right? Meaning with pages and these specific things in there. Like, just understand the principles behind why the presentation funnel, not webinar, why it works, why that script works so well. And the reason is because it tackles false beliefs in the order that the brain typically experiences any sale or decision, right? Like the decision I had to come out and try and bike super far tonight, I actually went through the same process that I would have to go through if I was buying something, right? First of all, I'm gonna go through, all right, what's my vehicle-based objection to going on a bike ride tonight? Oh, my back tire is a little bit flat. That's okay, Steve, right? I guess Steve's talking to Steven. That's Steven, shut up, right? Weak side of me. Go to a gas station and pump up the tire. That's what I did. Oh man, I don't know how far I can go. Don't worry about it. Set your Apple Watch, Steve, and go ahead and press the button and start moving. Oh man, I don't know if I have enough energy to do that. That's okay, son. You got yourself some keto for prove it, man. Right? That's what I did. Okay. Most decision making happens in that process, not just sales. That's the purpose. That's what I'm trying to say in this episode. Okay. So if you're like, man, I'm going to go sell something. I don't have time to do a full out, perfect webinar, perfect presentation funnel. Then don't. But still take the same idea behind it and go lace it in these different places. Every single product that I'm selling right now, there is a perfect presentation funnel selling it in front of it at every price point. It's not locked to a price point. It's not locked to info space. It's not, right? So I use it for I use it for everything. It's magic. So I made the decision, I don't know, it's probably like 3 years ago. I realized that there was a hack to the game. And all I had to do was learn how to sell expensive things to people with money. That's it. Guess what the best way to do that is? The perfect presentation funnel. Guess what that means though, right? Guess where you can sell that? Use it anywhere. Right? I was dropping voicemails on people's phones before OfferMind. And I was telling stories, very brief 2-minute stories, pre-framing brains before they showed up. All right? It's all scripted, baby. Every single little pause when I was doing my OfferMind speech. OfferMind itself, not just the actual presentation I gave to sell, but all of the presentations together. There was a lot of thought behind not just what people were talking about, but when the presentation was given throughout the day to break and rebuild false beliefs. I love my craft, man. Oink, baby, what's up? Oink. Okay, anyway, hopefully you guys got something out of this episode and you enjoyed it. That's just all I'm saying. So that's my latest use of the perfect presentation funnel script, is piggybacking on people's events, where it's still, because I get asked to speak so much and I'm very prepared. I have never stepped on a stage unprepared. There's been many times I'll stay up till 3 or 4 a.m. in order to prepare, sleep a couple hours, go give the speech, and then rest. Like, it's that big of a deal to me to step on the stage prepared, because there's a lot that goes into it. It's not about content. It's about beliefs, right? It's about beliefs and distribution. That's direct response marketing right there. Beliefs and distribution that's measurable. There it is. That's marketing. Anyway, and that's the latest way that I'm using it. All right, my friends, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode, and go do something that's freaky. Oh, and get rich. Boom!
So several years ago, I walked by a stage in a basketball stadium. It was my college campus, and I was deeply concerned with what I wanted to do in my life. For some reason, I looked at the stage and thought, one day I want to be on stages, I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to buy and sell companies. Well, while the last one hasn't happened yet, stage and entrepreneurship has. And as my business has grown and my message has spread, a frequent question I'm asked is, Steve, what stage will you be on next? Now, I totally get that this feels maybe like a little conceited here, but considering my childhood fear of speaking up, being heard, extreme lack in self-confidence, and getting in front of people back in my growing up days, I feel satisfied. I thought I'd tell you where I'll be in the world coming up. And funny enough, just literally go over to cstevelive.com and it will forward you to the next place. I love stage, and it's one of my biggest things to look forward to in my current role in my business. From little 10-person masterminds all the way to gigantic 5,000-person events. From free seats to paid events, events have always been one of the ways I can deliver the most value and get the greatest ahas in the shortest amount of time. Just come say hi and go over to cstevelive.com.